All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance Chat and Chow. As always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakis with Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales, where we do all things mold making that isn't necessarily mold making. So that means we do your plastic injection mold finishing, whether that's polishing, plating, which we do with our sister company, Durachrome, hot runner manifold repair, preventative mold maintenance, laser welding, laser engraving, and we also make and sell the only US made laser welding and laser engraving equipment. We do that in our Prairie Grove facility down the road. So unfortunately, Haley Ann from M. Holland was supposed to join us, but she's having some issues getting in. So we're going to do something a little bit differently today. We're going to wing it. We're going to go with the flow and we're going to see what happens. So if you are watching, please, 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 if you never did it before, chime in, ask a question, make a comment. And we are also posting the Zoom link. So if you'd like to be part of the show, you can click on that link, join us as a participant, and we can chat for a little while. I want to hear what you have to say. Generally, I can tell you what's going on in my world, but you might be a little bit bored with that. There's not that much. So we'll go from there and we'll see what happens. This could be a really short show. It could be a really boring show. I don't know. But you know, that's what happens when you do things live. You don't know exactly what, where you're going to wind up. So, let's just start. Let's kick some stuff off. So yesterday was a good day. Yesterday, I went to a company in Indiana with Doug Nigerman. We went out there and we did a laser welding demo. That's something that we do. We build fiber laser welding systems for plastic injection mold repair. And so we went out to the company in Indiana and we set up, and it was an awesome experience. We probably had 10 tool room technicians there of various ages. It was really cool to see. And you know, there were a couple girls there. There were some younger guys there, some people that were in their mentorship program. And overall, it was a great experience. And they were really impressed with the equipment. I don't want to toot our own horn, but we have a great laser welder because we've been doing it for so long. And you know, they saw it and they were really impressed with it, and they're gonna look at a couple different options, which you never like to hear, but I'm confident that in the end they're gonna know that, you know, we have a great product, and they're gonna make the right decision based on who we are and what the equipment is, not being pressured into buying something that they weren't ready for. So you know, that was really good. It was a good experience. It was a good day, and I think we're gonna be able to do some work with them down the line. So that was good. And then we turned around and drove home. And that's just one of the things that we do as a company. If somebody's interested in laser welding and they want to make sure that it's right for them, we'll do that. We'll go out with the equipment and we'll set up a demo and spend the day with them and show them the ins and outs, and not just limit it to one person, but to as many people that want to learn as possible, because we want to see them have success. So I see we got people watching on LinkedIn, people on YouTube, people on Facebook. So if you're there, please chat with me, because otherwise I'm going to be very bored and lonely today. And that's not good for any of us. So yeah, let me know who's there. We will have prizes for the best questions, best comments. And again, we are also going to, we are sharing the Zoom link. We're sharing the Zoom link on all the channels, so that if you'd like to be part of the show and see your smiling, happy face, you can just click on the link and you'll be part of the show with us, and we can go from there. So sorry, I'm trying to get all those up right now, and they are there. So on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, not on Twitter. We're not on Twitter. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, you can click on those links and be part of the show. So who else has a question for me? Throw them out there. What else is going in my world? I hurt my leg. It's not good, but it's not awful. It's sprained. My toes are purple. Did you know that toes can turn purple? I didn't know that. You know, we're doing some good things right now. We've got new laser welders being built. We've got a laser development center that we've created in Prairie Grove, Illinois. where we have 3 different laser engineers that are working on new products to enhance the plastic injection industry. So we're really excited about that. Different laser welding machines that are coming out, fiber technology, everything from a system that it's our fixed workstation. So it doesn't have as many moving parts, but it is an XYZ table. It's a smaller platform for those companies that don't need huge tooling. They don't have it. They're just looking to weld some inserts and things like that. So we've built that machine. We are also developing a system that is using a robotic arm so that you'll be able to do production welding as well as handheld welding, not handheld, but hand-driven welding with a joystick. A lot of great technology, and also some laser welders that are laser engravers, excuse me, that are serving different applications. And we're continuing to grow and push ourselves into doing new and better things. We've got machines going out to Dramco Tool today. They should be there tomorrow installed. So Larry, your machine is coming. You're going to love it. It's an awesome system. And the engraver will be out there in a couple weeks, and I will be out there joining you. And maybe we can do a in-person chat and chow. That would be fun. Today we've got team in Ohio doing demonstrations. So really anywhere across the country, if you'd like to see laser welding and laser engraving yourself, just let us know. Send us a message and jump on with us, or send me an email at Tony@alliancelasersales.com, and we can definitely get out there and schedule it, because we want to see you have the kind of success that you need. My wife is watching. How cute. And she says, I'm sorry that your toes are purple. It happens. That's what happens when you sprain your ankle, playing soccer or doing whatever. Mary Kate is joining us. All right. She's rescuing me. Hey, Mary Kate.
Hey.
Mary Kate is working from downtown Chicago today.
That I am.
Donald Mendez would like to join us. I'm going to let Donald in. All right. Donald is popping in here in a second. Joining. Donald, can you hear me? Looks like you're muted there, Donald. All right.
Sorry. The problem is my butt is just way too big to be black.
Oh, now I hear Donald. Now I don't hear Donald.
If I unmute myself, my pooper
There
will
you go.
stay on screen.
Yeah, I hear you now. You're unmuted. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm in the toilet taking a poop right now.
You're doing what?
I'm in the toilet pooping. You want to see?
You're in the toilet pooping right now. I didn't realize we were going to get this call. So why don't you mute yourself, and you can watch on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. I've talked to people while they're going to the bathroom before. I kind of would rather not. So why don't you call back in when you're done, and we can have a conversation.
Oh no, it's fine. I could do it right now. The toilet. I might be here for a while. There's a lot of diarrhea coming out. It's really black, really. You can see it if you want to.
All right, we're done with Donald. I'm trying to remove Donald. How do you remove Donald? Donald's gone. All right, good. I've never had that call before, so that's a first. Again, with the joys of live. My friend Rich Thiel is joining us on LinkedIn. Rich has a golf outing coming up May 1st. If Rich wants to put some information in there, I'll be happy to talk about it, where it's going towards, what it's for, what's happening. Rich is a sales engineer at GWS Tool Group. If you guys need cutters or things like that, Rich is your guy. Awesome products, awesome company. Brian Smith. Let's hope Brian Smith's not going to the bathroom. Brian is coming on. Brian, are you there? I'm afraid of Brian. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Okay, so I have.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Remove. All right. Goodbye. You know, maybe the Zoom link was a bad idea. I don't know.
It's worked before.
It has.
One is
No. How do we get rid of Brian? Brian,
when poop is too
no,
black,
stop.
it
Stop.
gets
Stop.
all over
Stop.
like my butt.
Stop. Oh
Like
gosh.
Should we take the link down? Do you just want to talk for an hour?
No, I think it's going to be a very short show. That's what I think. All right. Brian is gone. Yeah. Don't report. All right. So, I guess I'm learning today. We are going to have a guest on. Mary Kate, who's the guest we're going to have on with continuous improvement?
I believe that will be Peter Christian of, I'm not entirely sure of his company. He might actually be retired as of now. But he's coming on the show May 5th. And that will also be Cinco de Mayo. So it'll be a very exciting day to have a show.
Yeah, it'll be good. So that's one of the things that we're big on here is continuous improvement. And I think it'd be good to come from an industry expert. I know I want to get some feedback on what we're doing and how we're doing it. So we're gonna move forward with that. Hopefully that'll go much more smoothly. Mike Tuttle is feeling my pain. He says he feels bad for me. Dude, don't feel bad for me. Just listen, I trust you. Click on the link and join us, and then we can have a conversation. My wife is typing abort, get out of this. But we're going to push through because there's people that count on our show, and there's 9 people watching on
Woo!
LinkedIn, and it's going to be great. So, Mary Kate, you've been with the company now for what? I'm not even going to guess.
4 or 5 months since November of 2020.
Awesome. And so what are your initial thoughts so far?
I've learned a lot coming from school. You think that you have 4 years of a college education and you might know something. However, that's not always true. Entering an industry that I didn't necessarily know anything about was a game changer. And I appreciate everything that Alliance has taught me because without this opportunity, who knows where I would be.
And that's why, it's one of the things that I learned from Westminster is to hire for character and who that person is, not necessarily for skill set or knowledge. Not that you don't have skill set or knowledge. You have those things, just not in our industry. And, the willingness to have hard work and be curious and try new things. I credit Hillary and Ray and the team at Westminster for, all of that knowledge and putting that out there for people and realizing that that's a legit way to run a business and grow team members.
I agree. And I think that more companies should take that risk. You look at I still get notifications from LinkedIn all the time. It's like, here, apply for this job. And you click on the link, and being someone who has minimal experience, internships and whatnot, you're not going to have 5 years of experience for an entry level position. And while I know that that's a deterrent for a lot of companies to find the right candidate, I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah. And it's not realistic either, right?
No.
Like you can't say this is an entry level position, but you need 5 years of experience. That's no longer entry level.
No.
It's a whole different animal. So we got Adam Barker from International Mold Steel. Richard Evans is cry face, happy face, smile emoji. And he says, what a way to kick off the show. I agree. Hey, why not? But he says, other than bad callers, how do you see things going? Are you seeing any slowdown with machine sales and repair, or is everything still going strong? So, yeah, that's a good question. What we've seen is that everything is still moving very, very, very strong in the industry. We've got demos set up for laser welding and engraving machines for the next few weeks going into next month. We're surpassing our laser welding and engraving sales goals right now, as well as developing new technology. So that's good. Our polishing department is very strong, we're busy, but we can still take work. If you need to send stuff out, we're not too busy for you. Hot Runner is continuously bringing in work. I mean, you know what happens? The mold goes down and there's not much you can do. You got to have it fixed. Mold maintenance is one of those areas where we're still trying to convince companies that preventative maintenance is better than emergency maintenance, and it results in better output, lower costs, faster turnarounds, all those sorts of things. But it's still hard. Nobody wants to pull down their mold when it's running, even making some parts, because they feel like they're going to lose money, when in the long run, if they would just be running full capacity, they would probably be making more money. But I'm not an expert in that. It's just my opinion. Laser welding we have availability in laser welding. And we think that kind of hit a little bit of a decline in the job shop because companies were not able to run parts as much because there's a shortage in plastic, right? And if there's a shortage in plastic and companies are not molding as much, then there's going to be a limit in the damage that happens to the tooling. And if there's a limit of the damage that happens to the tooling, we're not going to have as much welding work that comes in. That being said, it's hit or miss. It's emergency work. It's triage. So it's near impossible to plan. It's one of those things where I wish that we could find a way to set things up like a mold maker or a molder where they can schedule work, a month out, 2 months out, a year out, and know what they're going to be working on. Unfortunately, we're not in that situation. We're not scheduling work necessarily. We are triage and emergency. And when it comes in, we need to hurry up and get it back out. So, but everybody we're talking to seems really, really busy. I talked to Rich Olis today from Alba Enterprises. And he was telling me that they are guns blazing. They are full steam ahead. We were at Valio yesterday, and they are extremely busy. Westminster, I talked to Hillary the other day. She said they're picking up work. They're busy. All of the companies that we frequent and talk to seem like they're really plugging along. We're doing some work with a company called Innovation in Wisconsin. A lot of work coming out of there. It does not seem to me like things are slowing down. I talked to Sujit from Progressive Components, and he mentioned to me the other day that they are doing extremely well. And if Progressive is doing well, that means the rest of the industry is doing well, because as the leader in mold components, if those things are selling, people are building molds, and the plastic injection industry is doing really, really well. So awesome question, Richard. I would like to know what you're seeing. Are you feeling like the industry is doing well? You're on a different end of it than I am as a mold designer. What are you seeing coming down the pipeline, and how is the shortage impacting you? Do you feel like things are going well?
I would also like to thank Richard. He helped me out with our converting an ongoing challenge that we had for subtitles. We've been trying to get subtitles on the show after we post our clips, and he was one of the people that replied to my SOS post on LinkedIn, and he was able to help, and we were able to figure it out. And now our short clips after the show have subtitles.
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite things about this industry and LinkedIn, and what we're trying to do with the show is the networking side of things, and just being able to share in successes with people. I know John Casbon sent us a bunch of those mask ear saver frames, and we were able to pass some of those on to other companies that we do work with, to be able to keep paying that forward. And he's got his name on there and everything else. And so if anybody needs any of those, John Casbon is on LinkedIn. I'm sure that you could reach out to him and he can get you some of those. But it was great. They just showed up, and we were able to help out some other people. So I know that they created those for the medical industry and doctors and nurses and first responders. So and they're red, white, and blue, and they're beautiful, and they're great, and they're comfortable. I just don't like wearing masks. I'm one of those people. So sorry, but I had COVID like 4 weeks ago now, and now I'm supposed to be immune for the next 4 months. So I don't feel like I have to. Unless I go somewhere and they make me, I will, but it's not my favorite.
grocery stores, airports, high congested areas.
Yes, I'll do it so that I don't look like the leper of the group.
Yes.
Even though I know I'm not infecting anybody with anything, but we'll go with that. Oh, Paul B. I think, could this be Paul Britton? Let's hope. Paul B. While he's coming on, Richard says, it's been strong, but I'm starting to see some projects get pushed back. Unfortunately, plastic shortages have been the biggest excuse used for the most part, so hopefully it's short-lived. Paul?
Hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh, man, I've never been so happy to hear your voice.
I just got out of a meeting. Figured I'd stop in and see what's going on.
How was the meeting?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our quarterly sales meeting.
And so based on what we're saying, so for those of you that don't know, Paul Britton is part of International Mold Steel out of Kentucky and worldwide. And so if Paul is seeing good numbers, it means good things for our industry, because he is the first step. He's the guy that's supplying you the materials that you need to build the molds that you need to make so that we can have plastic parts, which everybody wants. And if you're not buying steel from Paul, you should be. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I not my fault.
No. So how was your sales meet or your meeting?
Oh, good. I just sat and watched. I let my national sales manager handle it, but no, it was good. I mean, the guys are, see, with our product, we don't sell commodities, we sell, our steels are all, high end, but in the long run, when you look at your process, start to finish, our steels save you money.
Yeah. When you say our steel save you money, what does that mean?
Well, when you look at a product, okay, when you look at my invoice, let's say we're talking about a D2 product versus our DC53, my steel is probably twice the price.
Okay.
Maybe 40% over.
That doesn't sound like a price savings.
Well, it's not, but if my die outlasts the D2 die 3 times, my steel's free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we say our steel save you money, it's when you look at your job from A to Z, start to finish.
Yep.
Our steels are cheaper.
Yep.
We've actually had some jobs, Tony, that they got 25,000 shots out of a die cast and they got 120,000 out of ours.
Wow.
Why would you ever buy that steel again?
Yeah. So is it hard to communicate that savings with people? Because a lot of people up front, right, are concerned with the initial investment. They have a hard time seeing, I guess it's the forest through the trees, right? They have a hard time seeing the end dollar amount. It's the front dollar amount that gets them hung up sometimes.
Well, when you look at a job life from A to Z,
yeah,
who looks at that job? The purchasing person doesn't look at that job. All he sees are 2 invoices. Oh, your steel's more expensive. I can't use your steel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. That's why we try to climb the ladder to get to the people who look at the total picture,
Yeah.
and say, hey, you really need to take a look at this. And we have a lot of success with that.
Yeah. We have that same kind of conversation with people because there's varying levels and kinds of laser welding equipment, right? There's fiber equipment, there's YAG equipment, there's positives and negatives to both. And it's trying to communicate with people that you have to compare apples to apples. You have to look at, what am I getting for this dollar amount and what is that going to mean over the long term?
Well, look at and not to pump you guys up any more than you need to, but
do it. I love it. It makes me happy.
But I bought your laser etching machine for $85,000. Your competitor was $42,000.
Yep.
Why did I buy it? Because I looked at all the variables that would go into using your machine versus using their machine.
Right.
And I would have had to hire 2 people and the likelihood of an injury or accident would have been high.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer, but I looked at all the variables.
Right.
That's what you need to do.
Right. And I think sometimes it's difficult to do that because the accounting department doesn't necessarily always have your foresight, right? And,
Right.
and the knowledge that a Paul Britton has and what's going on in the shop, on the floor, and everything else. And sometimes it can be very difficult to communicate that cost savings or that efficiency or that issue. One of the things that we hear when we try and sell a laser welding machine is people will come in and say, it would be a nice thing to have, but we don't send out that much work. We don't send out enough work to match that ROI. But what they leave off is, how much does downtime cost you? How much does delivery cost you? How much, if you're a molding plant and you can't run all your cavities and you have to take that mold down and you have to ship out any part of that, and that mold is down for 1, 2, 3 days while it goes out, while it comes back in, how much does that actually cost you? So it's not the invoice amount for the repair. It's all the cost savings and the downtime and the efficiency and everything else that you need to take into consideration that not always the accounting department understands.
And that's like I said, that's why you got to find the people who are looking at the big picture. Otherwise, and I tell my people, I said, yes, you have to call on the purchasing agent eventually, but you never start with them.
Right.
Okay. You bring them in, they have a role to play just like everybody else. But if they're just going to compare two invoices, we'll lose every time.
Yeah. And, I would love it if anybody is listening that has this experience with a purchasing department. How do you communicate that value to the department where they understand it? Or is it always just dollars and cents? I mean, I would love for somebody to come in and join the conversation, because, here it's Jessica, and we can tell Jessica this is why, and she'll understand. But I know sometimes, especially in larger corporations, it can be difficult because it's a numbers game.
What we have a problem sometimes is to even get and see the engineers or some of the managers, you have to go through the purchasing agent. They won't even let you in the building.
Right.
So that's why trade shows and all this stuff is important, because they come out to that, and that's when we get a chance to meet them.
I am looking forward to trade shows again.
I told you I went to the NADCA one, right?
Yeah. How was
Florida?
that?
It was great. It was
that's die casting, right? What, National Die Casting Association?
Yeah, NADCA, North American Die Casting. But it was great. Everybody loved it, and it was funny because Steve Udavari, who's the president, said, "How many of you were so looking forward to this?" I mean, everybody, they raised two hands because it was, it was being tied up or in a office or in a house all the time. It's not human nature. We got to interact. We got to, talk to each other.
Yeah.
Share a drink, share stories.
That's what makes
this job fun.
We did that for a year. I'm ready to go back out. Call me irresponsible. Call me whatever you want. I'm ready to go back out, shake hands, give Paul a hug, have a drink, have a meal, and tell real stories and keep those relationships going. Mary Kate unmuted herself. I have a feeling you have.
Hey, I'm vaccinated.
Attaboy.
I'm vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated. Tony's COVID free, I guess you would call it.
I am COVID free. I call it God's vaccine that I have.
God's vaccine. Yes.
Well, it had mild symptoms, but I should be good for the next 3 to 4 months.
Did you have COVID?
Science.
Did you have COVID, Tony?
I did.
When?
I did. About 4 weeks ago. All I had was a cough. I thought it was allergies, and then it turned out it wasn't. But I had the very minor version.
Well, I was fortunate enough to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and I didn't have any symptoms from that. But my mom did just get her second shot 2 days ago or yesterday, and she said it was worse than giving birth. So
wow.
She said, now I know why there are people dying of COVID. If this is anything similar to what they're experiencing, I would rather give birth again than get this vaccine a second time.
I had the Johnson & Johnson too.
Is your mom a fan of giving birth?
No, I mean, she's done it 3 times, but
Because I feel
think
like you have to ask that question, right? Because if she's a fan of giving birth, then that's not really a thing. Like,
no, I don't think. Do you know people that are a fan of giving birth? I don't know anyone.
no.
I don't think it's particularly enjoyable. But yeah, I was very fortunate to A, get a vaccine, and B, not have any lingering illnesses.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, Paul, that you were able. Did you have COVID at all before
My
that?
wife did.
Okay.
My wife did. And she's one of those persons who's immunosuppressed. So that's
Okay.
why I got the vaccine, more for her than for me.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to do international travel, you might as well just get it because you're not going to go anywhere without,
Yeah.
And I traveled to Japan and they're not going to let me in without my little card.
Yeah, the firefighter who gave me my vaccine said, don't lose it, make a photocopy. Like, there's a good chance, he's like, and I can't tell you this for a fact, but there's a good chance if you like want to go to the movie theater or you ever want to get on an airplane, like you're probably going to have to present this card to be able to sit next to someone.
Mary, don't laminate it either because it'll run.
Oh, good to know.
Don't laminate it.
Take a picture of it and have it on your phone.
Mhm.
That's what I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on my phone as a picture.
Yep.
That's what
I have a photocopy and my original, so I think I'll be safe.
Good deal.
So Richard Evans says, we're jumping back previous conversation a little bit. He says, seems like there's too much separation with new tooling and maintenance, different budgets and different person concerned with that dollar amount. The quoting department wants to save money up front and they're not as concerned with the cost down the road as repair cost can be amortized and paid back by the customer.
He's 100% correct.
That's fair.
Correct.
Yeah. The downside is that work still has to get done somewhere.
Tony, you'll love this. You'll love this. I actually had a customer, and I won't tell you their name, but they're a big, big customer.
Okay.
Fortune 500 company. Okay.
Yep.
And they told me the reason they don't buy our steel and the reason they buy a different type of steel is because it's easy to repair. I'm not kidding you. 100%. I sat there and my warehouse manager and I looked at each other and were like, well, that's the same reason why I buy the car I buy, because it's easy to repair.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Why would you ever do that?
Right.
That's what they do.
So let me make sure I understood it. Your steel is easier to repair?
No.
But so the flip side is your steel doesn't get damaged.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Like
he also told me that he doesn't have a problem with wear resistance on his steel, even though his steel was at pretty much 0 Rockwell, just a hot rolled product, and mine was 40 Rockwell. He said they wear the same. Again,
it doesn't seem accurate.
No, but the thing is, I'm not going to be able to change his train of thought.
No,
he was the guy was in his mid to late 50s. It was over. I was like, okay, well, we're just going to agree to disagree and move on.
Yeah. You can only beat a horse so much before you just sound like a salesperson. We were recently out doing a machine demo, and I talked to the tool manager. I gave him all the information, and my goal is never to be that salesperson. I want to tell you the information we have. I want to tell you who our company is and how we can help you. But I don't want to come across as that shyster guy, like that's not, I don't want that ever, because I don't like that guy. And the guy I was talking to, his manager came up and was asking, he's like, listen, you all have great pitches. Everybody's machine is the best. I understand that. But tell me, what I care about is serviceability, flexibility, and ease of use. And I was like, okay, great. And so we talked about that stuff and went through what that means to them, what that means to us, and how we can do that, and why we understand it, and how, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I know when we left there, they still have other things that they want to look at, right? And I know that there's companies out there, because I've been on the other end of it, where they want to sit down and they want to go over the paperwork right then and there, and they want you to make a decision. They want to pressure you into it, and they want, and like, let's do this right now. Let's do this right now. And at the end of the day, you know, what I want people to know when we're working with them is, it's got to be right for them, not us. It's got to be the right choice for what they need that fits their needs, whether that's capacity, capabilities, ease of use, whatever it is, cost, you name it. If it's not right for them, it's not right for us. And I don't ever want to pressure somebody into making the sale right now unless it's right for them.
Well, I'm a perfect example of that. How many times did you call me and say, you got my PO yet? You got my PO yet? I said, Tony, just relax. We're just coming.
I think we talked for probably 2 years.
When we first started talking, and then it was about another 8 to 9 months before I finally was able to get a PO and get it over to you. Because and you remember the problem was, it's Tony, I got a PO. I don't have a square foot to put your piece of equipment in my building.
But even before that, it was, you know, we were at an AMBA conference and you had interest in the machine.
Yeah.
Like as a concept, it had interest, but it wasn't ready yet, right? There were no legs to the conversation yet. Just, oh, an engraver would be useful in our company. And so it had to develop legs. It had to, you know, we had to build a relationship. You had to really understand what you needed out of a product. It's not a spur of the moment. It's not an impulse buy. It's not a pack of gum.
And you know what? It never should be. I mean, you want to deal with people who are going to analyze your product, look it over, buy it for what it's meant for, and see the value that they're getting out of your product.
Right.
You know, I don't do impulse buys. Can't afford it.
No.
You know, I saw a need. I knew what I needed to be done. Your machine, with a little tweaking that you guys did for us.
Yeah.
And now it's used every day.
Yeah. And so the only thing I did before we left that customer is I said, you know, I'm just going to ask you one question. Is there anything that we did or didn't do that you need us to or not do that would help you to make a decision? And he said, you know what? That's a really good question. I have a couple other demos that we're going to look at, but if anything comes up, I'll call you. And I said, that's all I can ask for. I just want to make sure that you've got all the information that you need in order to make a decision that's going to benefit you and your company best. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, that's all it works. How's the golf tournament coming along? You get your dotting your I's, crossing your T's?
Yeah, it's good that you ask. So we have the largest goal we've ever put together. So we just confirmed with the golf course. We are going back to Countryside where you played 2 years ago. The reason we're going back there is because they have 36 holes.
Yeah.
And so with a Merimold the week before the outing, what our goal is to get people to stay an extra day after a Merimold, right? Put in all the effort, put in all of the time, the hard work, the networking, the late nights, early mornings at a Merimold, stay one more day and come play golf and relax and really network and have some drinks and help our veterans and donate to a cause. So our goal this year is to have 240 golfers.
Wow.
So last year we had 120. We filled 18 holes in a COVID year, pandemic year where it was not supposed to work and people weren't supposed to want to come. And we decided that we were going to do it anyways. And it was amazing. And this year we think that we can double that because we think people are really ready to get out. We're going to be working with iWarriors and probably one or two other charities. So we want to just be able to give back. We know that last year was tough for charities and organizations and companies or places that are trying to raise money to do good. And so if we can just blow it out, it's going to be awesome. And so we'll have 2 separate rounds of 18 going on. So you won't play 36 holes. Everybody will play 18. And both sides will be set up the same way with drinks on the course and games on the course and all the same stuff. It'll be it should be an amazing day if we can pull it off and get people to participate. So it's done with the golf course. We have that organized.
Nice.
We're working on getting the drinks set up, which is the second most important part of our outing. And then it's a matter of just promoting it. Website is going to go up in the next couple weeks so that we can start taking registrations. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome time. Kyle Clouda says, I'm in for bad golf and good friendship. Dude, I'll see you there. That's what we're all about. Nobody there is a good golfer. I mean, there might be one or two. The best golfer that I think has ever been to our outing is Alex Hoffer. I love Alex Hoffer from Hoffer Plastics. He sends a team every year, but after the first year he came, he said, Tony, I love what you're doing here, but this outing is not for me. I will send a team every year, but I want to play serious golf. And I respect the hell out of him for telling me that and being honest. And every year he sponsors the course. He sends a foursome, and he continues to do that. And I'll play golf with Alex at his place when he wants to, and he can just dominate. I mean, that dude is good. And I could see how if you're good, our outing could make you crazy and annoy you. But
Yeah, but you got to let your hair down once in a while. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Just get crazy once in a while. And that's what your outing is, just crazy fun, friends, laughter, and helping out the hat behind you. So
yeah,
that's all it is. I don't care about my score. I don't care if I hit a bad shot.
No,
you know, it don't matter.
No. And you can't really have a good shot after you spun around a golf club 15 times.
Did you watch my video?
I did.
Yeah. And did you see where your wife said, "Are you dead?" And I said, "Yes."
Well, the year before you made me do your
spin. By the way, I'm going to get that asshole. He didn't do shit. He's in my foursome again. Trust me, we're going to get him this time.
Who's that?
Larry Patton. That was his fault.
Oh, he didn't spin?
No.
Oh, Larry's getting called out.
Nope. He had his grass skirt on. He was not going to spin.
The grass skirt. That's a good addition. I don't know if we can say that anymore. Is that offensive to people?
Not a skirt, the grass skirt.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's everything is offensive now.
You know what? I'm so tired of that too.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sexist joke by me. That was just saying he wears a grass skirt. That's all that was.
Yeah. Well, he had a grass skirt on, and if he spun and fell down, you might see the good.
Oh, wait, whoa, wait, hey. Whoa.
Yeah. We don't want that. So we just let him stay on his feet.
TMI.
Yeah. Well, it would have been if he fell down.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything. Well, he did shotgun a beer, though. He did do that.
That's good. And he did play golf, not golf. He played volleyball with me at 11:30 at night. After the outing, we went to side outs, and we had some alliance volleyball, which was the worst volleyball that has ever been. It was more just ball. There was no volleying. It was like serve point, serve point, serve point.
Well,
serve point,
drink. Serve point, drink.
Yeah. I'm a fan of games that you can play while holding a beer in your hand. Volleyball's not one of them. Bowling, bocce, beer pong, pretty much, I guess they have to start with a B, but cornhole. But yeah, things that you can do. Volleyball, I feel like your depth perception would be so off. It would be very difficult to have any sort of skill.
It was not pretty. I'm not going to lie. I don't think people would even recognize it as volleyball. It was just a bunch of idiots on each side of the net, laughing and moving. That was because we did rotate properly. We were doing rotations.
That's good.
All right, guys, I got to run.
All right, Paulie, thank you for jumping on and saving me for a little while. I appreciate you.
No problem. See you, bud.
Bye. So Mary Kate, Rich says that we should do the hard sell. He's like, do it, buy it now.
I saw that.
I don't agree.
No, I don't think people respond to that very well.
No, just in life.
That too. I sent you a link on on LinkedIn today, actually, from our person, I forget his name, who talks about why another
Simon
thing about,
Sinek.
yes,
Simon Sinek.
another thing about selling and how selling in business is very similar to selling in personal relationships. Like if you're
Yeah.
on a date,
Yeah.
and if you're on a date with someone and you don't know them very well and you say, well, I make a lot of money and I'm really good at what I do and I have a really big house, you should come see it. It doesn't sound as good as, I love my job, I'm super passionate about what I do. You know, because of my job, I get to do all of these cool things.
Right.
And it's given me these cool gifts. And, you know, would you like to come see it? How
Right.
it sounds so different just based on how you put a spin on things. You come off a little less abrasive.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, maybe it's just me, but, you know, if this is the first date that you're meeting somebody, maybe you shouldn't say, come back to my house.
Yeah, that too.
Maybe that should take a little while. Maybe I'm old fashioned. I don't know, but maybe that should be like the second or third time you talk.
That
You know?
too. That
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Down the line a little bit. But I love Simon Sinek and his philosophies most times. And I think it just makes sense. I think he does a lot of good stuff.
I agree.
So you sent me a thing that we'll do a shout out. I don't know if he's watching, but you sent me a thing that Wisconsin Engraving is hiring.
That's true. Pete posted something on LinkedIn today about it, and they are looking for, I'm not sure the actual title, but I did send it to you. And
Yeah,
they're
so,
looking, and I said hopefully they can get the right person for the job.
An experienced texture technician is what they're looking for.
In Wisconsin. So if you're in Wisconsin and you have experience.
So here's a question for you. You're recently out of school. How are your friends finding or having, how is the time your friends are having trying to get a job now?
It's been really interesting. Graduating during a, forget graduating in general, graduating during a pandemic, for lack of better words, sucks.
Yeah.
There's no good things about it. My brothers graduated during, one of them graduated during recession. That stinks too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but I think a lot of people my age are pivoting, for lack of better words. Like I graduated with a marketing degree. One of my best friends graduated with me and he took a year, moved to Boston, and is now selling pharmaceuticals. So, you know, maybe that wasn't exactly what he thought he was going to do with his life, but for right now, that's what he had the opportunity to do. I think a lot of people my age are also going back to school.
Yeah.
My other good friend wants to be a doctor, but instead of applying to go, she took a year and she's doing a master's program. So I think that there are a lot of things that people might not have seen as their direct line of what they want to do, but there are a lot of doors that open because of it. And don't graduate during a pandemic. That's what I have to say about that.
Well, yeah, I guess that would be like, let's not have another pandemic.
Let's not have another pandemic. Give it 100 years.
Yeah, people can't just stay in school for an extra 2-3 years, so it's not a pandemic.
There are a lot of grants and a lot of things that school can be very, you can make school affordable if you really wanted to. And you work hard, it can be better. Yeah. I would love to go to school again and get an MBA or some sort of second degree, but one day.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Listen, if you're watching and you want us to cover anything, throw it in the chat.
Kyle Clouda, business manager at MSI.
I love Kyle.
He said, I'm in for bad golf and good friendships.
Yeah. I love Kyle. I mean, why are we third plus contacts? We know each other. That's weird. I got to fix that. No, I love Kyle. Kyle is running MSI now with his father. They have 2 plants, one in Iowa, one in South Carolina. And I just love hanging out with Kyle. Last time he was living in Michigan. Why was I out there, Kyle? I don't know why I was out there, but I called him and I was like, "Hey, are you home?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I just went there. We hung out in the backyard for a while. During COVID, he let me come to his house during COVID.
That was
Let me
nice.
go inside to go to the bathroom. Now we're back to bathroom talk. But I love
Full
Kyle. I
circle.
hope Kyle will come to the golf outing this year. His dad came 2 years ago, and last year they were kind enough to sponsor it. But I hope he can make it out this year, and he can bring his wife and find a babysitter for his kid. I mean, he can bring his daughter if he wants to.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to golf and watch a child.
Yeah, but we are also going to need more volunteers this year because if we're going to blow it out like we say we are, last year I think we had 15 volunteers. We're going to need probably 30 to 35 volunteers.
Yeah, that's like our whole company.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Masters. We're going to have it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for September. It's the 24th, right? September 24th.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm wicked excited for that. I think it's going to be so cool to do.
It'll be great. And this is, like you said yesterday, the earliest we've started planning. So we should be able to go out with a bang.
That's the goal. That's the goal. All right, Mary Kate, do you have any prayer requests for today?
I think I'll give you my one. I don't think that has ever made it on live because
Oh,
of
no.
the delay. But just for people that are struggling with cancer and cancer survivors, and I know some people that have had COVID while also having cancer, and it's been really difficult for them. So that whole group of people would be great.
All right. Oh, what's this? Oh, Rebecca Hamstra from Westfall says, "Hi, Tony. Great sales advice. There is a time and place. You do have to ask the tough commitment questions. Thought you addressed it well." Well, thank you. And Rebecca is awesome at sales.
Where was that on? I don't see that.
That's on LinkedIn. She just typed it now. There might be a delay, but in my opinion, she does it right. You form a relationship, you build trust with that person. Rebecca, I knew what she did. I knew what she sold. But she never once gave me the hard pressure sell. Now, maybe she does that with other companies. I don't know. But for me, she was just always that trusted resource to be able to go to when I have a question. And was there when we needed something, but not overbearing, if that makes sense. And just like you see her at a trade show, she's happy to see you, gives you a hug, everything is good. Just another positive influence, and not somebody that you like, oh crap, here she comes. She's gonna ask me for stuff. I don't want it. Never had that feeling. So Rebecca, thank you. And thank you for being part of our show and watching. And one of these days we should have you on as a sales manager at Westfall and talk about what that looks like, especially as a company, as part of a company that's as big as Westfall now. And just talk about what that looks like, what your role is, how you're seeing the market and what's happening. So if you can send me a direct message, Rebecca, we can get you and Mary Kate to connect, and we can nail down a date and have you on. It'd be awesome. All right. Oh, there's Mary Kate typing my email. Nice.
Awesome. In case you wanted any more fun guests on the show.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, if you're listening and you want to be part of the show, I know some people like to hide in the weeds and just type comments, or they can't get on because their company won't let them, or whatever it is. Listen, not many people watch. Your company's not going to know. So just send us a message. Let us know some feedback about the show, and yeah, we'd love to have more people on. We're going to keep doing this every Wednesday at 11:30 Central Time, and just talking about what's going on in the industry, what we're seeing, and what you guys are seeing and what you're experiencing. So we are coming up to the hour. I don't know how we made it an hour, but whew, that's good. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Mary Kate, for having the foresight to go, oh my gosh, he's struggling, and this is going to be like the worst fiery crash ever. I have to sign off.
I tried to get Michelle on. I told her to join. She sent me a picture. She was watching, but she didn't want to join the Zoom. So we tried.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I totally get it. Hey, I just saw something that's exciting. We are at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Woo!
That has
Did
been a
it.
goal. We did it. We got to 1,000. Now, if we can just get people to watch the stuff that's on there, that would be another story. But it's baby
That's a
steps.
different task for a different day.
We're going to keep putting the content out there, and whatever works for other people is what it is. So, you know, I'm going to throw this out there. I got a couple goals. If anybody out there can help me with them, I would love. I don't know how to make this happen. I would love to have anybody from the Duck Dynasty team come on and talk manufacturing in America. I know that's random, but you know, they are an awesome story of success and an American-made company. And they use the plastic industry quite a bit for their duck calls and the things that they do. So if anybody knows Willie, Jace, Phil, Cy, I would love to talk to them. That's a goal. That's a Manufacturing Alliance goal. And then the other one is Mike Rowe. I know, big pipe dream goals, but Mike Rowe is like the voice of manufacturing in America. And I would love to either talk with him only, or we can do a panel discussion with shop teachers and all kinds of stuff, and just talk about a new direction for students and what that looks like. And I'm not sure how to do it. I don't have any money to pay these people to do it. It would just be out of the goodness of their heart to help the industry and help our country and help, you know, the people that watch and want to be part of it. So anybody knows Mike Rowe or anybody from Duck Dynasty, I'd love to talk with them. I know. Yeah. You don't know if you don't ask, right?
Richard, help me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Rich Thiel says, I want to listen to you and Cy. That would be great. I agree. So somebody help me make that happen. Rich, make that happen. I don't know how you're going to do it, but make that happen. That'd be awesome. All right. I'm going to pray for us and then we'll go about our day. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for the life and the situations that you give us. Thank you that life is unpredictable. And we just have to roll with it and make a decision, make it in the best way that we can, with you at the forefront. And we know that you're in control and you will help things to go the way that they're supposed to. There's no fear in trying, and there's no fear in failure. We just need to find joy in the situations that we're going through, whether that's COVID, whether that's the unexpectations of a live show and guests canceling, failing health, whatever that is. God, help us to get through those situations and to put you first. And we pray for everybody that is dealing with sickness right now, especially people with cancer survivors, people with COVID, people that are scared or sick or lonely and not knowing where to turn. We pray that they would feel your presence and they would know that you're there and you're in control. And whatever is coming their way, nothing's too big or too small for you. And you can use all things together for the good of those that believe in you and for your glory. And so we thank you for everything that we have and everything that we will encounter, whether we understand it or not. We know that you're in control. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everybody. Thank you once again for listening to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. It was an interesting show. We'll get Haley Ann on another time. I'm sorry that she couldn't make it. We'll find out what happened with that, but and she'll be a great guest. We've got some other great shows coming up down the line, and we'll be sure to make sure that that's out there so that you can tune in. And in the meantime, if you want to be part of the show, click on the email that Mary Kate posted, and we'd love to have you on. And so for myself, Mary Kate, the entire Alliance family, take care and God bless.